If you can't control your emotions, people will control you. Most people believe that power comes from having the perfect argument, the perfect response, or the ability to always prove they are right. But psychology reveals something far more uncomfortable. The people who have the greatest influence are often the ones who speak the least. Silence is frequently misunderstood as weakness, insecurity, or submission. In reality, it can be one of the strongest psychological signals a person can display. The way you respond when challenged, criticized, ignored, or emotionally provoked shapes how others perceive your confidence, emotional intelligence, and personal value. And the most surprising part is that many people lose respect, opportunities, and influence not because they say the wrong thing, but because they feel compelled to say something at all. Welcome to a space dedicated to understanding the human mind and modern emotions, helping people better understand anxiety, relationships, and inner thoughts. Today, we will explore the hidden psychology behind a powerful question: why silence gives you more power than arguments. If you stay until the end of this video, you will discover why silence often has a stronger psychological impact than confrontation, how emotionally intelligent individuals use silence strategically, why excessive explanations can weaken your position in social interactions, and how your behavior during moments of tension silently communicates your level of confidence to everyone around you. You will also understand the mental mechanisms that make people pay more attention to what remains unsaid than to what is constantly repeated. Because the real issue is not what you say during a conflict, it is what your behavior reveals when words are no longer available to protect you. And most people spend their entire lives trying to win arguments, without realizing that true psychological power often belongs to the person who no longer needs to argue. What you are about to learn may completely change the way you communicate, influence others, and navigate relationships from this day forward. Have you ever reached the end of the day feeling completely exhausted? Even though nothing particularly bad happened? No major argument, no crisis, no dramatic event. Yet somehow your mind feels heavy, your patience is shorter, and even small things seem harder to handle. If that sounds familiar, you're not imagining it. One of the biggest psychological struggles people face today isn't obvious stress. It's the constant accumulation of emotional pressure from everyday life. Every unread message, every awkward interaction, every comparison on social media, every moment you hold back what you really feel creates a small mental load. Alone, these moments seem insignificant, but together they quietly drain your energy. The strange part is that most people never connect their exhaustion to these invisible emotional demands. They think they're tired because they're busy, when in reality they're carrying emotional weight their brain hasn't processed yet. And the longer this goes on, the more it begins to affect decisions, relationships, confidence, and even the way others respond to them without them realizing why. What makes this even more surprising is that one of the most powerful ways to break this cycle is something most people overlook completely. What most people don't realize is that emotional exhaustion rarely comes from the events themselves. It comes from what the brain keeps doing after those events are over. Your mind has a built-in need for certainty. When something feels unresolved, confusing, or emotionally uncomfortable, the brain often keeps revisiting it behind the scenes. That brief conversation where someone seemed distant, the text message that felt colder than usual, the moment you wondered if you said the wrong thing. Even when you're no longer thinking about these situations consciously, part of your mind may still be trying to analyze them. The problem is that the brain treats uncertainty like an unfinished task. It keeps searching for answers, replaying possibilities, and filling gaps with assumptions. Over time, this creates a hidden psychological loop. You start becoming more cautious, more self-aware, and sometimes more emotionally reactive without understanding why. In social situations, this can quietly change your behavior. You may hesitate before speaking, overthink simple interactions, or interpret neutral reactions as something negative. What makes this pattern so powerful is that it feels like you're protecting yourself, when in reality your mind may be teaching itself to expect tension where none exists. And once this invisible habit takes hold, it begins influencing far more than just your thoughts. And this is where the hidden cost begins to show up in everyday life. When your brain spends too much time carrying unresolved emotional weight, your behavior starts changing in subtle ways long before you notice it. You may become quieter in conversations, second-guess your opinions, or hesitate before expressing what you really think. Not because you lack confidence, but because your mind has become focused on avoiding uncertainty and potential rejection. Over time, this creates a powerful social effect. People don't just respond to your words, they respond to the emotional signals behind them. When someone constantly seeks reassurance, overexplains themselves, or appears unsure of their own position, others often sense it instinctively. On the other hand, people who seem calm, grounded, and comfortable with uncertainty tend to be perceived as more confident and trustworthy. This is why two people can say the exact same thing and receive completely different reactions. The difference is often not intelligence, charisma, or even personality. It's the emotional state being communicated beneath the surface. The challenge is that most people never realize they are sending these signals at all. They believe the problem is external, their job, their relationships, or the people around them, while the real shift is happening quietly inside their daily patterns of thought and behavior. And once this process becomes automatic, it starts shaping not only how others see you, but how you see yourself. Your brain doesn't react only to what is happening right now. Much of what feels like a reaction to the present is actually a response to emotional patterns that have been building for years. This is one of the least understood parts of human behavior. A small criticism from a coworker, a delayed reply from a friend, or a moment of silence during a conversation can trigger emotions that seem far bigger than the situation itself. The reason is that the mind constantly compares current experiences to emotional memories stored from the past. Not necessarily specific events you consciously remember, but feelings your brain learned to recognize. If you spent years feeling ignored, judged, misunderstood, or emotionally unsafe, your mind becomes highly sensitive to anything that resembles those experiences. It starts preparing for disappointment before disappointment even arrives. This happens automatically and often outside conscious awareness. What makes this pattern so powerful is that it creates emotional repetition. Different people, different places, different stages of life, but the same feelings keep showing up. Many individuals think they are reacting to the person in front of them, when in reality they are also reacting to emotional memories attached to similar situations from years ago. And until this pattern is recognized, the brain keeps treating old emotional echoes as if they were present-day facts, quietly influencing decisions, relationships, and self-perception in ways that feel completely normal. Yet there is one final piece of this puzzle that explains why some people eventually break free from these cycles while others remain trapped inside them for decades. The moment you start noticing these patterns instead of automatically following them, something subtle begins to change. Not overnight and not in a dramatic way. The situations around you may stay exactly the same. People may still disappoint you, misunderstand you, ignore your efforts, or fail to respond the way you hoped. But your relationship with those experiences starts shifting. You begin to recognize that not every uncomfortable feeling is a warning, and not every moment of uncertainty requires an immediate reaction. This awareness creates space between the event and your response. And in that space, many of the emotional habits that once felt permanent start losing their influence. The mind becomes less focused on defending itself and more capable of observing what is actually happening. You stop assuming every silence means rejection. You stop treating every disagreement as a threat. You stop carrying emotional weight that was never yours to carry in the first place. What surprises many people is that confidence often doesn't come from controlling the world around them. It comes from understanding the invisible patterns operating within them. The more clearly you see these patterns, the less power they have over your behavior. And when that happens, your presence changes. Your decisions change. Your relationships change. Not because you became a different person, but because you finally stopped letting old emotional programs quietly decide who you should be today. Maybe the most surprising part of human behavior is that the biggest forces shaping our lives are often the ones we rarely notice. Not the major events, not the obvious decisions, but the quiet patterns running beneath the surface of everyday moments. A brief silence, a forgotten message, passing comment, a feeling that appears for only a few seconds and disappears just as quickly. Most people move through life believing these moments are insignificant. Yet over time, they become the invisible threads connecting how we see ourselves, how we interpret others, and how we experience the world around us. What if the person you are today is not only the result of what happened to you, but also the result of the meanings your mind quietly attached to those experiences? And what if many of the emotions that feel so immediate are actually echoes of stories that have been repeating for much longer than you realized? The human mind is fascinating for this reason. It is constantly building connections, creating interpretations, and shaping reality from countless small experiences that rarely seem important in the moment. Yet years later, those same experiences can still influence how we trust, connect, react, and understand ourselves. Perhaps the real mystery is not why people think, feel, and behave the way they do. Perhaps the real mystery is how much of our inner world operates silently, while we believe we are fully aware of it. And maybe, somewhere in the ordinary moments of tomorrow, you will begin noticing something that has been there all along. If you made it all the way to the end, you're already part of a small group of people willing to understand what happens beneath the surface of human behavior. If this video made you see yourself or the people around you in a different way, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us create more content about psychology, emotions, relationships, and the hidden patterns that shape everyday life. And tell me in the comments, I see the pattern, if you stayed until the end. I'm curious to know how many people made it this far. Now don't stop here. Click the video showing on your screen and continue exploring the psychology behind human behavior. And if you want to dive even deeper, check out the playlist we've prepared for you. The next video may reveal something you've been noticing in your own life without even realizing it. See you in the next video.